Imagining the worst can be a positive. There's a story behind that. This is your daily message from Chad number 1036 to upgrade your mental game today by telling yourself a better story. Because the most important story you hear is the story you tell yourself. This message is dedicated to Tim Viavitas. Here's the upgrade. You can try to always avoid the negative, but upgraded thinking mentally rehearses the worst. Here's the story. The manager called her team into the conference room on the eve of a big new project launch. They all sat around the table and she started the meeting by saying, "I have some not so great news. The project has failed miserably and we need to discuss what went wrong." The team was shocked and confused. "What? But we haven't even launched yet." What the manager is trying to do is lead a thought experiment of anticipating failure. It sounds strange, maybe even counterproductive, to ask employees to think negatively instead of positively. In response to the always optimistic, feel good thinking that permeates society and business, leaders have seen the positive in asking their employees to think negatively. In business, this technique is called a premortem. A project manager has to imagine what could go wrong, what will go wrong before starting. Why? Too many ambitious projects fail for preventable reasons. Too many people don't have a backup plan because they refuse to consider that something might not go exactly as they want. This practice goes way back, even before management theory. It dates back thousands of years. Stoic philosophers had a term for it: premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. The philosopher Seneca gave the illustration of planning a trip. He starts by reviewing his plans, but then goes over the things that could go wrong. A storm could hit, or the captain could get sick. Seneca wrote to a friend, quote, "Nothing happens to the wise man against his expectation. Neither do all things turn out for him as he wished, but as he reckoned. And above all, he reckoned that something could block his plans," end quote. By doing this exercise, Seneca was always prepared for disruption and always working that disruption into his plans. The bottom line, he was ready. This is an important practice for managing expectations. If it comes as a constant surprise each time something unexpected occurs, you'll be miserable. You'll also have a harder time accepting it and moving on. Remember Murphy's Law that what can go wrong will go wrong. The only thing we can use to deal with this is anticipation, because the only thing we control completely is ourselves. The better story to tell yourself is, "I visualize the negative and drain it of its power." The world might call you a pessimist. Who cares? It's better to seem like a downer than to be blindsided or caught off guard. We're like runners who train on hills or at high altitudes and will beat the competition who thought the course would be easy. Anticipation doesn't always make things magically easier, of course, but we're better prepared for them. We have time to build up our defenses or even avoid them altogether. We can resist going to pieces if things don't go as planned. With anticipation, we can endure. Preparing for failure makes you ready for success. When you practice premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils, you are mentally rehearsing the worst so it loses its power to intimidate. And negative visualization also prompts gratitude that the worst hasn't happened up until now. Tell me a story of negative visualization to fromchadsmith@gmail.com. Send someone a text and ask them, "Do you ever imagine worst case scenarios?" You can get a free copy of my book, The Most Powerful Story in the World, by going to fromchad.gumroad.com. The transcript of this message and hundreds of others are always available at www.fromchad.com.